right back up because, ladies and gentlemen,
Let me do this.
go right ahead, sir.
The man, for the people, by the people, he is the people, and he actually listens. He is definitely a promoter that I can definitely get behind. Please welcome once again to the Night's Den from Brad Lee Entertainment, Mr. Brad Lee. What's going on, brother?
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Y'all are far too kind, man. I appreciate you guys having us back, and thank you.
Absolutely. And were you trying to break the internet yesterday? Because I don't think people got their work done yesterday.
I think he did break the internet.
I don't know about the internet. We're at least trying to, like, to break Facebook. I don't have a social media manager right now, so I didn't get a chance to attempt to break Twitter, but we were definitely trying to break Facebook.
Hold up. You don't have a social media manager right now? You know, I do have a master's degree from Purdue University specifying in social media.
How did I know that was coming, man? I knew there was a plug there somewhere.
Brother,
We'll
I need a
talk
job.
off the air, man, until we get done.
But yes, Mr. Brad Lee, thank you for taking the time first off. And, you know, I've been a huge supporter of yours for a few years now. And got to talk with you a lot over the years, had you on the show. Had to bring you back for this one, definitely, because you...
oh, my God.
Wow. Wow.
I think I crapped my pants yesterday when I saw this lineup drop.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a goal. Not necessarily to make you crap your pants, but we were definitely trying to bring some attention and let people know that we are serious, man. We're not playing around anymore. We've been listening to what the fans want, and we are trying to give them everything that they need. Granted, you can't please everybody, but I feel strongly about this lineup that there's something on here for everyone. So,
oh God, yes.
We're happy to bring it to the masses.
Absolutely. So Rocklanta is on.
It's on.
March 29th and 30th, Center Stage, Atlanta, Georgia. Brad Lee is bringing it, and he is not playing. Go ahead and tell them the lineup.
This is about some of the most exciting stuff that's come to Center Stage since the WCW days and Dusty Rhodes, man. So we are very excited to be in that venue. The venue has a lot of rich history with Prog Power being there, of course, and a lot of other great events. So we are amongst good company, man. It just made sense to do something down in the heart of downtown. The venue was right for us. You know, venue's a perfect size to give us a chance to put on something a little bit intimate. This is going to have the festival feel, but without the 30,000 people capacity that you got to fight for a good seat to be able to see the stage. So there really isn't a bad seat in this house. I flew down about 2 weeks ago and spent some time with my partners on this and the people that are involved, and we did a walkthrough of the venue, and we really feel strongly that we're going to be able to situate this to where everyone leaves with a smile on their face. You know, so you can walk in gloomy if you want to, but you'll be walking out smiling. Two-day event. It's going to take place on Friday, March 29th, and Saturday, March 30th. We have 14 bands all in all over the course of 2 days. So the lineup, as it stands right now, is going to be a band named Atlas. It is relatively new, all accomplished musicians, but relatively new to the scene. They are going to be opening the show. Regional band Babylon Shakes that is on their way to make it on the national level.
I love Babylon Shakes, man.
Yeah, great dudes, man. To be a three-piece, I mean, they're strong as can be.
Shout out to High Vol Music.
High Vol Music, absolutely. And for those of you that don't know, High Vol Music, I am the A&R rep for High Vol Music, and I'm truly honored to be working with Bill Chavis, man. He is a certified genius when it comes to this music stuff, so greatly appreciate them having me on board for that as well. But Babylon Shakes, for sure, they're going to surprise a lot of people. We've got at least 4 of these bands, Atlas being one of them, 4 of these bands on this bill that are going to be bands to keep your eye on in the near future. We try our best to promote from within and make sure that we book artists that we know are on the uprise or need a shot to be seen in front of a good crowd, and that's part of the reason why we had some of the bands on this festival that we have on. Moving on from Babylon Shakes, welcome back to the scene, XYZ. And we're totally stoked to have those guys not only on our show but back together as a whole.
Absolutely, because they just announced that they got back together like a week ago. You know.
Well, we tend to move a little bit fast here, man. You know, we don't we don't like to waste time. You know, so been in the works for a little bit, and we've been talking to the guys about possibly doing something. And we had some help from some of the guys out in other areas and other markets. That have really come together on this. I'm not going to put him on blast, but he knows who he is. So thanks for everything, brother. I know you're listening, and I appreciate everything you do, man. So yeah, XYZ, man, welcome back, and we're so happy to have them as a part of Rocklanta. We were one of the first ones to announce them as being a part of something after getting back together. So we are very, very stoked to have them. And for those of you who haven't seen XYZ before, you're really in for a treat. We've seen them on Monsters Rock Cruise quite a few times, and now we are happy to have them on land in that Rocklanta.
Absolutely. Who else have we got?
Well, we had to listen. I mean, people were asking for some international flair for a while for a lot of these festivals, and wondering why, some of the promoters don't go digging in other countries and other continents for that matter.
Now, see, Brad, this is the one that made me crap my pants.
Like
Because
this
I was
was
like, how in the hell did he get there?
Well, I have to give credit where credit is due. A lot of being turned on to these guys came from the Kick and Valentina guys. They've always been huge followers of Hardcore Superstar, and given a lot of credit to those guys for the way that they write and a lot of their styling. So it's been said a couple years ago. They keep saying Hardcore Superstar. And at first, I wasn't really that familiar. I mean, I knew some of their tunes, but I had never seen them live or anything. And then a couple years back, Monsters Rock Cruise had them on the Shredders Cruise. And I mean, we walked out of the buffet and walked over by the pool station. I hear all this racket. And I see this crowd, and I'm like, what the hell's going on over here? And it's a 2 p.m. show or thereabouts. I mean, people are still wiping the boogers out of their eyes, and Hardcore Superstars on stage just tearing shit up. And from that point on, I was like, wow, one day I've got to try to work with these guys. And the opportunity arrived, and it was a little bit difficult at times. That overseas they have vacation and what they call holiday, and the guys were unreachable for a little bit, but it took some time and some patience, and both parties came together and we pulled it off. And welcome one of the biggest coups in a couple of years, Hardcore Superstars playing Rocklanta. Holy shit.
There you go.
yes. When I see you, I'm going to kiss your feet for that one.
You got to get in line, man. That stretches around the block, I think.
Hey, man, dude, I made the mistake of turning my notifications on for that post, and it never stopped. So I couldn't imagine what you went through yesterday.
Yeah, my phone hates me right now. The majority of my stuff, I have one of those Note 9s or whatever with the pen in it, so I can conduct a lot of business from my phone. And if I have to, I get on my Surface Pro, but I'm not really big on the Microsoft interface and stuff like that. So I don't really like the way it operates. It's not convenient for me. So I do the majority of the work from my phone. And when I tell you I got my money's worth out of my phone yesterday, I am not lying to you, man. It was definitely crying for help, for sure. But yeah, I mean, say what you will, and I appreciate all the accolades and everything, but it takes a promoter to put it together, right? But it takes fans to support it, and everybody's been very gracious and appreciative of this lineup. People actually paid attention when we were making announcements yesterday. I mean, when people were interacting with the posts, I mean, I can't be more humbled about that. I mean, people genuinely care about the product that we're putting out there, and it does my heart good to see so many. I mean, there's some boo babies out there. Don't get me wrong. There's some haters out there and stuff like that, and which is good. You know what I mean? Because this thing only holds 1,050 people. So
hey, if somebody's hating on you, then you're doing something right.
Exactly. And we don't want everybody to go because everybody's not going to fit in this venue. I mean, the first 1,050 people. So if you say that this isn't your cup of tea, I'm not going to get rude with you or anything like that. You're totally entitled to your opinion. I mean, there's bands that aren't particularly my palate either, but this is business, and we tried to put together the best lineup we possibly could, and I think we got a hell of a show for you guys, man. So,
Brad,
as if Hardcore Superstar wasn't enough, capping off Friday night, we got Firehouse for you guys.
Dude, let me tell you now. All right, and it's not 1,500. It's 14. It's 1498.
whatever it is, it's around about that number.
Because
we're gonna try
me
and
and
pack it
Mr.
to the
Knight
gills,
are going to be in there.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a feeling somebody's going to try to sneak in and sit in the rafters or something for this.
Oh yeah, I guarantee.
We got to make sure we put some flex seal around the doors, man, and around all the window sills, and make sure we don't have people trying to sneak in through the bowels of the basement, stuff like that.
Definitely.
I'm sure we'll have people stuffing themselves in the band cases and suitcases and whatever they can do to disguise themselves to get into this thing. But
what is that? Oh, it's a bass drum case. No, it's not. It's got 3 chicks in it.
Well, that we may allow, but the dudes, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Now that's just Friday. Like you just knocked it out of the park already.
On Friday.
That's just Friday. So tell them what's coming up Saturday.
Well, we got to warm them up somehow. We got to get them acclimated to what we got going for them. So Saturday, the even larger lineup, full day opening for those of you that have been to Sleazy Slimy Sunday 3, and those of you that have been mingling around throughout Tennessee, you're well aware of the guys Denman that are down there kicking some ass and taking names. Denman will be opening the show for us on Saturday. Great group of young guys, very hungry, very talented, and we're absolutely ecstatic that they were gracious enough to come back. So welcome back, Denman, to another Brad Lee Entertainment gig. We appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Then another, it's like, I don't know what happened, but it's like Tennessee just grew up all over this event, man, because there is so much Tennessee involved with this event, man.
I wouldn't say throw up. I think they jizzed all over it.
Whatever they did, they made themselves known, because there's a ton of Tennessee involved with this lineup. So next man, also from Tennessee, Eastside Gamblers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so those guys, man, we're happy to have them on board as well.
Now, Eastside Gamblers, they they're fairly new, and features Tony Higbee, which is Tom Kiefer's guitarist, who is an incredible musician. And Eastside Gamblers, the day their single dropped, I played it on the show, and people were just like, "Who is this?" Like, okay, Here we go.
Who is this? I gotta have it. Yep, exactly. And for the sake of argument, you get a lot of people sometimes that you announce a band and they go, "Who?" Or they go, "Well, I've never heard of them before." Well, the first time you ever heard Metallica, you never heard them before either, did you? You like Metallica, don't you? So I mean, give these bands a shot. And Eastside Gamblers is not a nobody, right? So, they've been out and about and doing their damn thing. You got albums out and all that kind of stuff, huge catalog. So, go check these guys out and make sure you get familiar with their music, because come time Rocklanta, I want to see everybody out in the crowd singing Kumbaya and holding hands and hugging and having a great damn time. I don't want people sitting around with a blank stare on their face.
Absolutely.
If you are sitting around with a blank stare on your face, we're going to send you for a drug test, because there's got to be something wrong with you.
You got that right.
So, and
I'm excited about the next one too.
Then the next one we got coming from down there by you guys.
Oh yeah.
The seasoned veterans, Lily and Axe, man. Been wanting to work with them for a long time. Brian and I, shout out to Brian. We've been talking it up for quite a bit there through social media and stuff, and he's a promoter as well and doing his thing with Dirty Outlaw down there. So we have a lot of common interest just outside of trying to work together on an event. So we're happy to have them as well and being a part of this. They played 80s in the park last year, so they're no strangers to festivals either, and a lot of people haven't seen them in a while, so they're excited to see them on this festival as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I was down there for 80s in the park with you, man, and those guys killed it.
Yep. And facing the sun in the middle of the day, man, and they still got up there and rocked it. So you got to give credit where credit is due. Them guys bring it every time. I've seen them on the cruise before as well, and I've never seen a bad show from Lily and Axe. So I'm really excited to see those guys, and I'm going to do my best to stay behind the scenes for the majority of the day, but I'll be peeking out the curtains here and there and checking out some of these bands for sure.
Running up on the side stage to get you a
keep
picture.
it business, man, but I'm a fan as well, so I gotta make sure I keep an eye on at least 1 or 2 jams from each one of these guys.
Well, you got to be a fan.
Yeah, you do to a certain extent.
Well, see,
you can cross that line, but
Exactly.
I mean, business comes first. Don't get me wrong, but that's the thing about it is, like, you are a fan. Like you said, you are a fan. So you know these people. You know the music. And this is one thing that I absolutely love about you, and especially with bringing like Hardcore Superstar, is like you listened, because people have been begging promoters. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the promoters, they book the same people. It's, Brad Lee's not pulling in, Vince Neil for the 8 billionth time, which is perfectly fine with me.
No, and that's not a knock on Vince either.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing that I really enjoy and respect about your shows, is you don't go the same route that everybody else takes.
Well, we don't want to be a carbon copy, you know what
Exactly.
I mean? I mean, we don't want people going, oh, it's same old, I can just stay home, It's the same way with some of the bands that you see oversaturate the market and play, the same club every other week. I mean, if you can see the band in front of a 7-Eleven on a Tuesday afternoon, I mean, what's the reason to go see them when you know you can catch them next week? You know what I mean? If you got something else that complicates your plans, you're just going to blow it off and go to next week. So, we want to make it to where not only do we not put on shows, we put on events, right? We want to be a full event. We don't just want it to be just the performance aspect. We want it to be a full event where you get full experience of it, right? So then, we want people to remember it. I mean, there's times where you go to shows and you can't remember after it, like who was playing the show, who opened, what date it was, how many years ago it was. It feels like maybe it was 6 years ago and it was last month. We don't want that.
Yeah.
We want people to remember, hey, yeah, this is good. You remember the first Rocklanta? Yeah, what we had, Rocklanta 15. That's what we want people to remember. We want people to remember where it all started, and we're never going to forget where we came from. But we also want to make sure that people know, hey, we do this for you guys. This isn't somebody trying to just put on something where it's only bands that they like. I genuinely pay attention to what goes on in some of these Facebook groups and who people comment that they would like to see. And, I respect everybody's opinion. If one person comments they would like to see such and such band, that's great. But when it starts to get to the point where, like it was with Hardcore Superstar, where, I saw 30, 40, 50 people in a clip that mentioned that band, I mean, that tells you there's a demand for it. Because if there's 50 people in front of your face, there's 200 behind a closed door.
Oh, absolutely.
Lillian Axe, we got another Tennessee band, great band. I've had them at the BLE 6-pack last December before this December, the December when I was actually living in Maryland, was Tora. And they're on the Monster Rock cruise this year. All you cruisers out there, make sure you do not miss a Tora show. They were on the cruise year before last and absolutely tore down the theater, and then tore down the pool stage as well. So those guys are absolutely phenomenal. Another band I've never seen a bad show from, and to top it all off and put a cherry on it, they also have new material that they're working on right now, so that should be ready for Rocklanta as well.
Awesome. I cannot wait to see those guys again, because like you said, I've never heard of them having a bad show, and they've had a resurgence the past couple of years. I had a chance to catch them in Nashville about 2 years ago, and they were the one of the bands that I was really stoked to see, and I was acting like a maniac in the front row, just screaming out all the songs. I think Anthony was looking at me kind of funny, like, what's this dude's problem?
Right. Well, I mean, when they see fans just totally tripping out, I mean, they gotta appreciate that. There's sometimes like when we had them in Baltimore. I mean, they hadn't played Baltimore in like 30 years.
Yeah.
The last time they played Baltimore was in 88 or 89 at Hammerjack. I forget exactly which year, but that was the last time that they played Baltimore. And I mean, to bring a band back after 30 years and they still get a heavy ovation from the fans. I mean, that's something to be said right there, that the music stands the test of time. So, we're truly honored that they're willing to work with us again. They were a pleasure to work with, and Anthony and the guys, they just couldn't be more sweethearts, man. They're just the easiest to work with, easiest pie, and total professionals.
Absolutely.
All right. This one is the one that everybody went, okay, I'm not surprised. Everybody, I don't care if they've ever been to a BLE show before, or they know me or know the guys, they've heard. It's just like people that don't watch wrestling know who Hulk Hogan is. Unless you were, off the grid for the past 3 or 4 years, you know damn well if there's a BLE show, King and Valentine are going to be a part of it.
I have no problem
It
with
is what
that.
it is. You know what I mean? You know, and then being in an Atlanta gig too. You know, how can you have an Atlanta gig and not have King and Valentine on it? I mean, you just can't do that. That's impossible. So.
Absolutely, and I got to get those guys back on the show. They were actually my second interview I ever did for this show, and we just had a great time down in Birmingham for that show. And I've seen them 10 times in the past 2-3 years, and they just keep getting better and better and better every show.
You gotta be careful when you interview those KV guys, man. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta get the edit. You gotta get the edit board ready.
Oh yeah,
you gotta cut your time down with all your other guests, because those guys, man, they can just jab and jab and jab.
Yeah, I was planning on doing it live, and I think Jimmy, like during the interview, he turns to me, he's like, "You're gonna edit this down, right?" And I was like, "Oh, of course, absolutely."
Oh man, yeah, those guys, man. I mean, yeah, I saw them when I was in Atlanta, of course, a couple of weeks ago, and it's just always a ride around those guys, man. I mean, it's to the point where we have to just say our goodbyes early because we know if we stay any longer, we're going to get in trouble. I mean, that's the kind of times we have together. I mean, I can't even get into it on air. So, speaking of Valentina, I mean, that, you know, to only be together for 4 years, I mean, they leaps and bounds, man. I mean, what they've done, and they do it all in-house, man. So, aside from everything else and personal relationships, you can't help but to respect those guys, man. So,
Absolutely.
You know, if they're listening or if they're going to listen in the future, man, just know that you're appreciated, man. Not only by me, but by the fans as well, man. You guys are some hard-working mofos, man. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, I concur.
Yeah. At Season 3, right? So we had this gentleman that you guys might know by the name of Ted Foley that was performing at Sleazy.
Absolutely.
So,
I know that guy. I even know his security guy.
That name sounds familiar.
I even know his security guy.
Right.
Shout out to Sarge.
Yeah, so Ted's in the middle of his performance and wrapping up toward the end, and lo and behold, this dashing, long-haired guy comes out with his dark hair and these crystal blue eyes, right, and just takes the crowd by storm. Lo and behold, it's Danny Vaughn from Taiketo to make a special appearance with Sleazy 3. You know, these are another guys, and I know I've said this with just about every band on this bill, but we've been trying to work together for quite some time, and just, you know, with travel arrangements and things like that, because, you know, some of the guys are in the UK quite a bit, and just logistics, the stars wouldn't align, and I'm one of those guys. I don't try and force it. You know, when it's time, it'll be time. I keep the relationship, and, you know, make sure that they know that there's a willingness to want to work together in the future. And for this particular event, the stars aligned. We've been talking about it for quite some time. And if I'm not mistaken, Taiketo was one of the first bands that we actually booked for this particular lineup. They were one of the first ones to come on board. So, you know, as I said, Danny and I have been talking about this for quite a while. And when I let them know that it was going to be in Atlanta, that we finalized the venue and the dates and things of that nature, they're totally stoked about it as well, because they haven't played at Atlanta in quite some time. So it'll be good to have them back on Atlanta soil.
Absolutely. Great band.
Yeah, phenomenal. So, you know, and those guys can still go too, man. I mean, like, Danny's voice is just as crystal clear as it was, you know, when he first started singing. I mean, God bless him, you know.
Absolutely.
There's guys that really take care of themselves, man, and Danny's one of them, man. He really takes care of himself and makes sure that he's on point for his fans. So God bless him for that. Very hardworking. I was at a 50th birthday for one of my friends out in Texas a couple of months ago, and was just blown away by this band that actually played the private party. Dangerous Toys, man. They're going to be a part of Rocklanta on Saturday, and they're going to be direct support for our headliners. They've played M3 before, but
Hellacious Acres is still one of the most underrated albums of that era, in my opinion. Those guys are amazing.
And I'm trying my damnedest. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm pulling some very heavy strings, guitar strings, albeit, but very heavy strings, to try and get them to do my favorite song, man. I've never seen them do it live, but Gypsy Black and Blue Valentine, dude.
Absolutely. Yes.
If they perform that, that'll be one of the songs I come from behind the curtain for. I desperately need to see that. It's no different than Kicks playing Bump the La La. You know what I mean? Something
Absolutely.
I've been waiting for a long time. So just one of those deeper cuts that you don't really get to hear unless you beg and plead and ask for it. So I don't know if you're catching wind of what I'm putting down, but
Oh yeah.
this is me begging. You're not going to hear it too often, but this is me begging for it. So we'll see what we can get done. With a lot of these festivals, a lot of these bands, when you have multiple bands and you get up into where you're in the teams with bands over a course of 2 days or 3 days or whatever it may be, a lot of times you get abbreviated sets. So a lot of times when Dangerous Toys comes around and do some of these festivals, it's more so a greatest hit set where, they may only have 30, 35 minutes. We're doing our best to make sure that majority of these bands get full sets.
That's awesome.
We want to at least make sure that we have 45 minutes apiece for everybody, and then a lot of the headliners we're looking at an hour and 15-minute sets. So
Awesome.
There's going to be abbreviated stuff where they come on the stage, they say hello, and by the time they say hello, it's time to say goodbye. These are going to be full sets. We really are trying to provide value to give the fans the most bang for their buck, and that's how you do it. You want to see fans get the most out of the experience. So one of the major ways to do that is to make sure that these guys have full sets.
Brother, I guarantee you, with the headliner you got on Saturday, they are definitely getting more bang for their buck than these people realize.
Let's get into it, man. Headliner Saturday, we got one.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, I mean, this lineup is jam-packed, man. It's something for everybody. I mean, we got sleeves, we got harder stuff, we got ballads. We got newcomers to the scene. Seasoned veterans. We got it all, man. We got blues wrapped up in there. I mean, what better way to spend your day? I'm almost a little bit upset that I can't, enjoy this as a fan and I actually have to do some work that day and, all that kind of stuff. So, well, no, it's going to be a blast. We're really looking forward to putting this on and hopefully if it goes well, we can turn this into an annual event. I mean, who knows what it could turn into, but everybody's got to start somewhere, and this is what I think is a hell of a start for Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Well, Brad, you mentioned a while ago that you want to make this a memorable event to where people are going to remember it. The very first time I ever saw Warrant, September 9th, 1986, the Omni in Atlanta. And that's when, even though my speaking voice, I'm very deep when I talk, but when I sing, I have a natural falsetto. Warrant is the band that made me start pulling that falsetto up more and more and more, because that dude gets into the freaking rafters with his voice.
Absolutely. And Janie is very missed, and
Yeah.
Robert Mason's been with Warrant actually longer than Janie was.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been pulling double duty a little bit here lately with them and Lynch Mob. And the guy is just a phenomenal singer. I mean, he can do anything. And a great front man on top of that.
Oh, God, yes. He is entertaining.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I love about him. Don't get me wrong, and a lot of people are fixing to bash me. I love Janie. Loved him to get death. But he is more entertaining.
Yeah. And Robert, I would say that, if they were going to have anybody step into that place, who better? Who better,
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a great fit. I mean, I understand, people that are about Janie being with Warrant and all that kind of stuff, but look, man, it's totally different when someone passes away than it is just somebody replacing.
Exactly.
Putting somebody vocally in front of the band that has just been a lineup change. When someone passes away, you can't just let the music pass away with that person.
No.
You have to continue, especially with a band like Warrant that has such an in-depth catalog and so many hits. I mean, how can you just let that discography just die like that? You can't. You have to keep it going, and God bless the rest of the guys in the band for wanting to keep things going. I mean, there's some bands that just say, hey, we're not carrying on.
Yeah.
I mean, off the top of my head, Dirty Looks will be one of them.
Yeah.
You know, great band, huge catalog, but you know, when the lead singer passes away, you do one of two things: you keep the music going, or you can decide out of respect for that person that you're not gonna perform anymore. And either way, I don't have a dog in the fight either way. I'm not here to say which decision is right and which decision is wrong. But luckily, Warren has continued to keep it going. And I agree with you guys 100%. Robert Mason is a hell of a front man, not only a lead vocalist, but a hell of a front man. I mean, he doesn't just come out there and just stand still on the stage, you know. So,
That man doesn't stand still through the entire set. I want to, if you could bottle the amount of energy that Robert has when he is on stage, brother, me, you, and Keith, all three could retire.
Well, I mean, as a promoter, I'm not gonna spoil any details or anything, but I have the rider, so I know what his diet is. So I think I'm gonna hang it on my fridge, and every day when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna do the Robert Mason diet, so I can get his kind of energy when I come to Rocklanta. That way, I'm fully prepared for a full day worth of work, because that guy, man, he is. I don't know what his intake is throughout the course of the day, but whatever it is, he's doing it right. Not only does he look healthy, but that man is full of energy.
I'm going to say healthy. He is fit.
Yeah. But yeah, bro, I got to tell you, man, you know, and I'm going to put this out there. I know we kind of had a private conversation not too long ago, and I'm not going to say you were down in the dumps, but you were kind of having some issues, and I told you, I was like, just wait it out. I've got faith in you. You will be fine. And you announced one by one yesterday.
He's better than fine.
And everybody was just losing their mind, and I just had the hugest smile on my face. And, you know, I cannot wait for this, man.
You know, you killed the battery on my cell phone. And I have an extended battery that I usually don't have to plug my phone up for 2 days. And I just took it off of the charger that morning, and by like 5:45, 6 o'clock, somewhere around in there, I had to put it on the charger because
every 2 seconds, bing, 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 bing.
Well, I'll say sorry, not sorry, and leave it at that.
Let's just say Billy was very happy because Billy turned his ringer off and left it on.
Absolutely. So, man, dude, I am so stoked for you guys, and you know, not only just you, but shout out to your whole entire team.
Yeah, dude,
everybody.
I mean, like,
you know,
I'm the one on this interview, man. But I mean, you just knocked the nail on the head, man. You know, like I may be the face of the company or what have you, and the people see and.
I don't know. I've seen that face. I don't know if I want that.
I couldn't have a better staff, not only on PLE, but you know, the other people outside of PLE are involved in this. There's quite a bit going on behind the scenes, and I'm not going to get into it in full detail, but they know who they are, and we really all have a like-mindedness for this business and a passion for this business, man. And a lot of times you might see some stuff go down on posts or what have you that you know, there looks like there may be a little bit of stress and stuff, and a lot of times there is, but the reality of it is the reason why, like you were talking before about our conversation and stuff like that, when I was stressed before and stuff, you know, it's because we really, truly, genuinely want to do a good job, and we want to put forth our best effort to ensure that the fans get what the fans deserve. It's all about the supporters. I mean, that's the reason why we do it. That's the reason why the musicians do it. You know, I mean, if anybody says that they're in it right now for the money or the fortune and fame,
yeah,
they're in it for the wrong reason. You know, those days are gone. This is about the longevity of the scene and making sure that we keep the music alive and keep live music thriving. You know, so that's why we do it.
And see, this is what I absolutely love about your events, and I call them events. They are not concerts, they are not shows, because I mean, not only do you have the great soundtrack, you know, that is the focus of everything, but it really is just like a gigantic family reunion / block party. And I'm telling you, Atlanta is about to blow the roof off a center stage for this one.
You know, I mean, that's another thing. You know, it gets to the point where the bands are great and stuff like that, but you also go for the people. You know, there's certain people you may only see once a year, like M3 is a great example. You know, there's some people that only do M3 every year. There's some people that can only do one festival a year because of, you know, family restraints, time restraints, work restraints, things like that. So, hold on 1 second. You're going to get a candid part of this interview real quick.
Uh-oh.
Kylie, 2 scoops. That's it. My daughter's wanting. She just left from the nest. She's
Oh, okay.
So,
Cameo, nice.
glimpse into my life right there.
Hey,
But,
that's what it's all about right there, brother. Well, Brad, thank you for so much for calling in, man. It's an absolute pleasure every time I see you or speak with you. And I tell you right now, I'm gonna go ahead and announce this because the way everything you do is calculated to a T. Like when you release information, when you release tickets, when you release hotel information, all that is very calculated. And like you said, you really listen to the fans and you really try to give them what they've been begging for. And you've knocked it out of the park. So I'm going to go ahead and announce this right now. Starting January 2019, from January up until show date, something to do with Rocklanta will be on my show.
that sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man.
We are more than willing to come back on and discuss anything you need to discuss, and if you need anything to go with putting on part of your show, whether it be interviews with other artists or anything like that, please let me know. We'll make sure that we get everything to you that you need. It's always a pleasure working with you guys. So you mentioned the ticket links, so I want to touch on that real quick because
Absolutely.
a lot of people have been asking about ticket sale dates and things of that nature. And
Brother, I've had friends that are already asking for time off from work.
I've got people that already booked their hotel and just kind of threw a dart at the dartboard and said, "That's where I'm staying." You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's one of those things. We're trying to do, as we said, the best we can to accommodate the fans and stuff. So we're working on blocks right now for rooms. We will have hotel information with a link to book your rooms. So it'll all be booked under a Rocklanta block, so to speak. And then also a ticket link. Tickets will be sold through Ticketmaster. We're going to provide a ticket link and make sure that all that information gets out. We will announce the ticket link and the hotel link prior to the on-sale date. We're not just going to, post the link and go, okay, go grab them. We'll make sure we give you guys a couple days notice so that people can plan accordingly and make sure that they're sitting by their computer or wherever they buy tickets from.
Oh, dear God.
Right,
turn your notifications off again.
Say that again?
I said, we got to turn our notifications off again.
Yeah, those damn notifications, man. I mean, I get crucified for them, man, because a lot of times when I do a live video or something, I forget to turn my notifications off, and every time somebody comments on it, I get a ding, and people can hear it, and they can't hear me. All they hear is a ding. So I've come to learn my lesson a little bit. I know how to get in there and change my notifications now to where I turn my notifications off. So hopefully I don't piss off anybody else. I got a couple of rude comments before about it, so I try and pay attention whenever I can. So,
oh, yeah.
We're not trying to piss anybody off, but, we're human too. So.
Oh, yeah. Brad, make sure you stay on the line when we get finished here, but I want to
Oh, Lord, now I'm going to get a phone talking to you.
Oh, no, not at all. You're going to get somebody begging for a freaking job. But, but I wanted to say thank you because, the first time I saw Firehouse was down in Gulf Shores. They were just starting off, played a little bitty venue. I think there might have been room for 150 in the venue, and there was like 20 of us in there. And put on an amazing show. Got to talk with the guys, got to meet them and everything. And that's the thing that I like about the smaller venues is the fact that you get that one-on-one time for, even if it's just for a brief moment with the artists. I just did 2 stadium shows, might as well say, amphitheater shows about a week ago, and you got 0 FaceTime with the artists. These smaller venues, these guys, as soon as they get off of the stage, they're back there at their merch table hustling.
And that's why we try to provide intimate events, because people want that. Whether they admit to it or not, you want to feel like you're a part of something. And
exactly.
When the artists come out and they mingle with you, or they even, you get a chance to shake a hand or give a hug and say great show, and they acknowledge you.
Get a selfie.
That's worth the price of admission a lot of times in itself.
Oh yeah, I got friends that go to shows just to get a selfie with the artist. They will not go to an amphitheater show. They'll go to a small venue and see them just so they can
Yeah.
get a selfie with them.
Right.
But Brad, stay on the line. We're gonna wrap this up and feature one of the bands that everybody went
Oh, yeah.
absolutely ape stuffing over. Thank you for calling in. We're gonna get you back real soon. And dude, you killed it with this one, man.
Well, I appreciate you guys' time. Like I said, man, we thank everyone for the accolades and thank everyone for the applause on this event. It really was challenging at times. You did set up the way it was, man. But if it wasn't for such a strong team that we had working on this, we wouldn't have been able to come close to where we are now. So everyone look in the Rocklanta Saints and Sinners group on Facebook. If you're not a member already, get to be a member. That's where all the information is going to be posted first. And follow us there. And if anyone needs anything or has any questions, feel free to reach out or tag me in a post. I'll make sure I get back to you at my earliest convenience. Bear with me. I'm a little bit busy these days, but I will make sure I tend to make sure that I get back to people when they tag me in something and ask a specific question. So I want to make sure everybody has the arsenal they need, all the information, to make sure that we see you guys in Atlanta, at Rocklanta, Center Stage Atlanta, March 29th and March 30th. It's going to be a hell of a time. So I thank you guys for your time. Thank you, Night Dan, for reaching out to me. Thank you for having me back, and we look forward to the future.
Absolutely, man. Until next time, brother. Keep doing your thing, man, because you're obviously doing something right, and everybody's loving it, man.
Amen.
Appreciate it. Cheers to you guys. Thank you for all the support.
All right, no problem, brother. Later.
Sweet.
That was Brad Lee, and since everybody went nuts over Hardcore Superstar, we're going to play some Hardcore Superstar. This is called Electric Rider.